Long ago, in the world of the gods, where spirits ruled the skies, forests, and rivers, there lived a powerful river goddess named Idemmili. She was as beautiful as the moonlight on water, and her power flowed as strong as the rivers she ruled. Idemmili was proud but wise. She was loved by mortals and respected by the gods. For so many years, Ekwensu, the god of war, tricks, and merchants, wanted to marry Idemmili. But Idemmili could not stand Ekwensu. He hated him and called him a troublemaker who only cared for chaos and lies. Ekwensu, clever and sly, did not give up. For 3,000 years she asked, and for 3,000 years she said no. Then one day came. Idemmili's heart was won by Nagu, the god of nature. He was kind, calm, and full of life. Where Ekwensu spread fire and fighting, Nagu brought peace, wealth, and growth. Idemmili and Nagu fell deeply in love, and their union brought harmony to the realm of the gods. But Ekwensu was furious. He wanted revenge. If I cannot have Idemmili, he said, then no one will. I will turn the world upside down and cause destruction throughout every kingdom on the face of the earth. With envy and anger in his heart, Ekwensu went into the mortal world and started spreading lies. He whispered into the ears of the kings and chiefs, "Your neighbors are planning to attack you. You have to strike first." Soon, kingdoms and villages began to fight. Brutal wars erupted between the kingdoms. Peaceful lands turned into battlefields, and the rivers carried the cries of the wounded to Idemmili. In the spirit world, Ekwensu's lies reached the gods. He told Njokuji, the god of yam and harvest, that Nagu wanted to take his power. He then turned to Obunabali, the spirit of death. He told him that the love of Idemmili and Nagu would bring an end to the natural cycle of life and death. The gods began to argue, and the harmony and peace that had lasted between them for ages was breaking apart. Idemmili was heartbroken. She saw her waters being stained with the blood of war. She knew he had to act, but Ekwensu was clever, and his tricks spread like wildfire. Amadioha, the god of thunder and justice, could no longer stay silent. He called for a meeting of the gods in his great hall of clouds. Ekwensu's tricks have gone too far, he said. We have to stop him before he destroys both the spirit and the mortal worlds. Anyanwu, the sun goddess and Idemmili's closest friend, stepped forward. Her golden light filled the hall. I will stand by Idemmili and Nagu, she said. If war comes, let it come. My light will guide them through the darkness. With Amadioha and Anyanwu by their side, Idemmili and Nagu felt hope, but they knew Ekwensu would not be defeated by strength alone. They needed a plan. Idemmili had a sacred animal, the great water python. The python, with scales like shining silver, was a symbol of her power, and it often carried her messages to the mortal world. She sent the python to visit the warring kingdoms. Wherever it visited, the people stopped fighting and listened. For the stubborn armies that refused to stop fighting, the python coiled around the stubborn warriors and spoke with Idemmili's voice. Stop this madness! Your wars poison my rivers. Make peace and I will bless your lands. The people, fearing the goddess's anger, began to lay down their weapons and began to make peace. Slowly, the mortal world started to heal and peace began to return between the kingdoms. But Ekwensu was not done. He disguised himself as a wandering spirit and went to the people who had begun to trust Idemmili again. She does not care for you, he whispered. She only cares for Nagu. She has abandoned your prayers and only enjoys the benefits of your offerings to her rivers. Doubts spread once more, and some began to destroy Idemmili's shrines. Even farmers and traders, who usually offered gifts and sacrifices to the rivers, started to withhold their offerings, and this affected Idemmili. She started to feel her powers drain, and her connection to the mortal world started to waver. In the spirit world, Ekwensu began to turn more gods against Idemmili and Nagu. The gods began to take sides, and the once united council was very close to war and open battle. Idemmili and Nagu went to seek the help of Awu, the god of divination, wisdom, and healing. Awu, with thousands of years of experience and wisdom, only spoke in riddles. Ekwensu's strength lies in the chaos he creates. Unite what he has broken, and his power will fade. But beware, because his traps are many. With these words in their hearts, Idemmili and Nagu worked harder. They traveled together through the entire Igbo kingdoms, bringing rain to dry lands and bountiful harvest to the farmers. The python continued to bring messages of peace, guiding villagers through dark paths and helping those in trouble. Slowly, more villages and gods began to trust them again. Ekwensu, seeing that his plans were failing, decided to fight in anger. He appeared in the mortal world and confronted Idemmili in her rivers, his body surrounded by flames and his eyes filled with malice. "How dare you challenge me?" he roared at Idemmili. "There is nothing you can do to stop your precious mortals from falling to ruin, unless you surrender to me." Idemmili stood her ground, knowing that Ekwensu cannot attack her because it was forbidden for the gods to fight in the mortal realm. If Ekwensu attempted to use his powers on her, then he would lose his powers forever. "You cannot dare to break an ancient law of the gods," Idemmili said. "Save your fire for when it will matter. Your fire is reckless and consumes all in its path. But remember, my waters will always be here forever. For water has no enemy, and it carves through the mightiest of rocks in time." Ekwensu laughed and vanished through his flames, his voice echoing through the skies. "We shall see, you proud goddess, we shall see." Amadioha, who was watching from the skies, realized the gravity of the situation and decided to act quickly. He called a grand council of meeting of the gods in his court. All the deities convened, and Ekwensu began to lay claim of his place as the rightful ruler of the gods. He claimed openly before the gods that Idemmili and Nagu's union had altered the balance of power among the gods. But before he could say more, Anyanwu rose in the defense of her friend. "Enough of your lies, Ekwensu. You have brought nothing but pain and confusion. Today, you must answer for your crimes." Realizing that he was cornered, Ekwensu attempted to call on his spirit of war, but Idemmili's python and Nagu's vines entangled and stopped them. The battle began. Ekwensu unleashed his fire and wrath, but Idemmili's waters rose high, crashing against Ekwensu's flames. Nagu's roots sprang from the ground, wrapping around Ekwensu. But Ekwensu fought back fiercely, his fire burning hotter than ever. After a long heated battle, from the heavens, Amadioha raised his thunderbolt. "Enough!" he shouted, sending a great bolt of lightning down. It struck Ekwensu and his flames flickered. The python, glowing with divine power, wrapped itself around Ekwensu and struck him out of Idemmili's rivers. Ekwensu screamed in anger and pain, but he was defeated. Amadioha banished him to the farthest corners of the spirit world. With Ekwensu gone, the gods made peace. The mortal world, inspired by the gods, healed its wounds. Idemmili and Nagu's love became a symbol of unity and balance, and they lived on to bless the mortal world with so many years of prosperity and bountiful harvests. The story of Ekwensu's tricks and Idemmili's strength was told for generations, a reminder of the power of love and the dangers of pride. In the rivers, the sacred python continued to swim, remaining a symbol of Idemmili's beauty and divine power, a garden of peace and a symbol of the goddess's enduring grace. Thanks for watching and learning about this ancient tale of African Igbo gods. Please like, share and subscribe, and most importantly, stay tuned for more.